everyone. Welcome back again to yet another episode of Scholars Path Africa. I am your host for today. My name is Rashida, and as usual, I am joined by my beautiful co-hosts, Imi and Latifa. Good morning, ladies. How are you doing? Welcome to this episode of Scholars Path. Please say hi to our listeners.
Hey, listeners, it's Imi. You're most welcome, and we are so honored to have you here. And we please request you to listen to the end of this episode.
We're glad to have you back. This is Latifa speaking. Please tune in and listen to what we have for you today.
Today's episode is a little bit different. We are joined by our fourth co-host, also our guest for today. He's called Elly. Please introduce yourself to our listeners.
Hi, hello. My name is Elly 𝗘𝗵𝗆𝗆, and I'm from the University of Oran 1. I am holding a master's in computer science, specializing in networking and information systems.
So, Elly, our listeners would like to know, you just finished your master's in Algeria. How did you get to know about the Algerian scholarship?
Well, I got to know about it. I was still in Form 5 because
Wow.
a friend to my dad had a son. Actually, the son was Titus in Brijaya. So the son was a year above us, so he had already gone, or he was preparing to go. So when the mom got to know about it, prepared the son to go, she narrated the whole thing to my dad. So he came, told me, actually, he proposed to me, like, my son, how would you feel about going abroad? I didn't hesitate. I just told him I would go. And then, and then after mom was like, so that's how you'd leave us? I was like, no, it's the CV, you know? I have to build my CV. So they're like, okay. So that was something that encouraged me to work hard. So after I came, I actually knew what to bring, the papers to prepare. I was just waiting for the ad, for the call for application.
Yeah,
So did you even try to look for universities within Uganda? Because
No.
knowing about this, so you went straight to apply for the
Actually, I
Algerian
didn't
scholarship?
apply. The only thing that I tried to apply to was, actually, it was a diploma in petroleum engineering, because that one was given to me after filling in the Punjab form they gave me. But when I went there, amongst the things they required was a national ID, and by then I didn't have one. So I was like, well, I'll chill. Let me wait for Algerian scholarship. So
It seems you are 100% sure you're going to get the Algerian scholarship.
well, I don't, but okay, I had the hopes, but I wasn't so sure, though I had the hopes that I'll get it.
That's amazing.
So when that scholarship list came out, the
Yes.
Algeria after the application process and everything,
Yes.
and then you saw your course, because in Algeria it's mathematics and informatics.
Yes.
What did you think about, like, what came to your mind when you were given that course? Did you understand what it's
You
about, what you were going
mean-
to study?
You mean before the interview or after the interview?
It's like after, because when the list came out, Elly, we've given you to the University of Oran and we've offered you this course. Did you understand the course you were going to do?
Actually, I was shortlisted on 2 courses. Because when I was applying, Madam Ann told me, you can apply to 3 courses. So I put in ST, I put in architecture, and then math and 4 on different application letters. So I was shortlisted on 2, on architecture and computer science. So when I came for the interview, I first attended the one of computer science. Then before leaving, I told them that, I was shortlisted on 2 courses. So should I come back for the second interview? They're like, no, the points you get here will be the same points awarded the other side. But what do you want as first choice? I told them computer science. So, and to reply to your question, it didn't really confuse me because it was clear mine was in English, just as everyone else, that mathematics and computer science. So it was direct, it wasn't like other courses like science of matter, science of nature and life, where people are like, what are we going to do? The parents themselves don't understand what the course is.
So your parents understood your course. They knew what you were going to do from the beginning. You did not need to explain to them that computer science is about this.
No, not really, because when they saw computer science, to them it was computer science.
The math didn't matter.
No,
It's
the-
a course that we already have in our Ugandan universities, right?
Yes,
So it's
yes.
most of the people know about it.
Yes, and then they also they knew that I was passionate about computers. We had the computers since we were still toddlers, so we grew up using computers.
So you are going
And-
to live your dream.
So in O level I did computer, in A level I did computer. So it wasn't that much of a big problem.
That's why you even chose it over the architecture.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
So Elly, you're just one of the few people who actually knew what they wanted, who understood what they were going to study, and they were very focused. Because most of us did not know. We accepted
really?
to 𝗔𝗹𝗴𝗆𝗆𝗆. That was the attitude.
Yes. All we knew is that we are going to study from
Algeria,
abroad.
abroad.
Yes.
Okay, me, I thought that, okay, we're leaving people, because most people, their courses, I believe, they were changed from that side. People who left here were given pharmacy, medicine, dental.
SNV.
Okay, there were very few who were given SNV because people,
Oh, quite a number, by the way.
quite a number.
Yeah.
Because me, I thought the changes happened when we arrived the other side.
No, actually, most of the people who were nominated for medicine
Yes.
were given SNV.
Yeah, that I
Yeah,
realized.
that's why I think in our promotion we only got one person who was given medicine.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we got a few people who succeeded in changing their courses.
In our promotion,
Yeah, in our promotion.
nobody
Nobody did.
Nobody was able to
The
change.
people that
The
I
only
know
thing they were
who
able to
had
change was the
changes-
universities.
Yeah, it was the
But they
universities
didn't
that
change
they
their
changed.
courses.
Yeah.
So you were the lucky one. The one who got exactly what they wanted.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah.
For someone who got exactly what they wanted, you've been working towards this Algerian scholarship right from your S5. Because you said that's when you got to know about it. So this is something you've been working towards. That means you already had your expectations, probably because you had prior knowledge in school. Someone has
Yeah.
told you what life in Algeria was like. Now you were going to live this life yourself. That day when you
Yes.
took the flight to Algeria, arrived in Algiers, was it everything you had imagined, everything you had heard about?
Not everything, because when we arrived, it was cold.
Yeah.
Because we arrived in
Mm.
Jan, because it was 27th January.
Yes, the
Yes.
That's when we
winter.
arrived. It was cold. They made us stand outside for some good minutes. Like, it was really cold. Even though we weren't putting on heavy jackets, like they had told us, carry winter jackets, boots, but they weren't made for the real winter.
Yeah, we thought they were heavy.
Yes.
But they
They
weren't
were made for
heavy enough for
Ugandan
winter.
climate, not the...
Not the winter, the actual winter.
And then when I saw the place, okay, because when we first arrived, we went to Bumedes.
Budua.
Yes, Boudouao. Where we passed, it looked like a fighting ground. Yes, because the buildings were being demolished. It was like they were bombing things like, where have we arrived? It's cold. The place outside looks like they've been bombing everything. You look at the sides, there are cigarettes, like very many cigarettes. And like, wait, what have we come into? But well, you can't call back home. They had to sell things to take you. They were like, go, gun study. You can't start calling them. Because I remember there's this Ancia Julivan. He scared us. He was like, don't be your neighbor's problem. If you have a problem, it's not your neighbor's problem. Call home. We had nightmares. Like, should I call
So he
home?
wasn't helping for someone who had just landed in a new
because
country.
you
Everything
can't tell
seems
someone
strange.
who has just arrived such things.
Yeah.
You have to be,
Yeah,
how do they say it, compassionate? Or
Yes,
Yeah,
empathetic.
empathetic.
Yeah. Try to make them feel at home.
Voila. You make them feel at home.
So, Elly, from the culture shock, now let's go to the honeymoon phase. What are those things in Algeria? We're like, oh, this is heaven. This is
I
better
have
than Uganda. I
arrived.
have
Ah.
arrived.
This is what I imagined.
Where should I even start from? Because, well, I'll talk about the food. Though it wasn't that good at first, because there are some foodstuffs that are like, I tasted it once, and I've never tasted it ever again till when I left.
For example.
Olives.
Oh, I didn't like olives first, but I'm one person who has been buying them
Olives.
myself from the market.
We started even buying olives. Trust me.
I hate
I love olives. It's the one thing I
Lucky
miss by
you.
now.
Try over and over again. Yeah.
You remember cashier?
Yes,
Yes.
The one that had olives.
yes.
I couldn't eat that.
Ah,
Because every time I smelled olives, I could even smell them outside the restaurant. I'm like, no, I just go fetch the chicken and I leave. And since I was like, no, I won't cook. Oh, and actually, there is this funny thing. When I was going, my dad, since he had someone who was already there, you know, parents, when they're told things, they take them too personal. So my dad took things too personal to the point that he made me pack saucepans. I took 3 saucepans with me.
So that
Yes.
people,
I took a flask,
wow.
plates, cups, spoons, and forks.
Real boarding
did his
school.
research.
Real boarding, because it was my first time to study when I'm not coming from home. Because from nursery up to high school, I was a day scholar.
Okay.
So they had to pack everything for me.
So a lot of people do not know. Elly went to Oran. Oran in Algeria, that is the city where things happen. Everyone tells you need to go to Oran. Have you been to Algeria? If you've not been to Oran, you need to come to Oran. Oran is literally everything.
Isn't it even the most beautiful
It's
city in
such a
Algeria?
beautiful
Actually, not
place.
the most beautiful, because if you say by physical feature, they say Constantine. But then by social life, even
Oh, yeah,
Algerians,
Constantine, true.
even Algerians, they tell you that, Oran is the Las Vegas of Algeria.
Everybody tells you need to go to Oran. The
It's
people
the
there
Las
think
Vegas
differently. They have
of
a different
Algeria.
mindset. It's like you need to go to Oran
Yes.
sometime.
And the funny thing is that the first few months in Oran, I was there, the culture shock, And then I got to learn that the friend who helped me to do the paperwork, because remember, as we filled in the forms, the university you want, the
Yes.
wilaya that you want, I was in contact with him. He told me, put University of Oran. In fact, University of Oran 1, wilaya, Oran. And then
These are the people who did their research. For us, when we're filling in, we just in it's Algeria. They have their capital is called what? Algiers.
Algiers.
They must be the University
Yeah.
of Algiers. So all of us just filled in the University of Algiers. So please, I think we always tell you, do your research. When you're doing these things, do your research. This is Elly coming, who had done his research. He had been well informed about everything.
No, because I feared to land somewhere that I don't know. So I didn't not that I didn't like Oran, I liked it, but when I heard about other wilayas, other places, Bijaya, then I got to know that the person who helped me to do the paperwork was from Bijaya. And I was like, wait, you double-crossed me? But then after hearing the stories that were there, I was like, Alhamdulillah, I'm in Oran. I can't leave Oran. And if I visited other wilayas, I wouldn't spend more than 3 days. I come, I stay there. The third day, I'm leaving. Unless it's a gathering, there I would stay. But if it's me visiting a friend, not more than 3 days. Because in my head, I had this thing, there is this saying, though I don't know who said it, that a guest is like a fish. It starts smelling after 3 days. So I would leave before starting to smell, you know?
Wow.
Yeah, but if you two had the opportunity to visit Oran, that would have been nice.
I think people do not
we
know
missed that chance.
definitely. Elly speaks very fluent French. He's one of the people actually who got very fluent with French. At the beginning, he could speak very fluent French when most of us were still struggling. So for someone that's going to Algeria and they're trying to learn, because everyone says French is such a hard language. There's
Yeah.
too many rules that the female and then the male. It's just the conjugations.
Yes.
Those are the things that probably for me took time to
Yeah,
took
because
time
in
to learn.
English, we are Anglophones. English, it's
Simple.
direct forward. There's
Yeah.
no gender. You can't say that a table is female.
It's female
that
and
this,
then
it's this. Yeah, it's direct.
Mm.
But we too had challenges since we arrived during COVID. Everything closed. When we got our papers, because we had to do our French here from 𝗔𝗹𝗵𝗆 base. But then when we sat down with our seniors, they were like, so you guys, do you really want to go? We first checked our wallets. Because they're like, if we go there, there were Ugandans. I think there were 2 or 3. I'm like, but the people we know are here. We are all here. And the good thing was that we were all boys. There were not that there were girls, they will be alone. We were all boys, we were moving together. So we didn't go to 𝗔𝗹𝗵𝗆 base. We're like, no, we're not going. We're staying here. And then they're like, okay, since you blocked there, what will you show as proof? As a reason as to why you were blocked there. Then after, like, okay, we'll look for a certificate, any French certificate, and we show. So there was a senior of ours. He was doing medicine. He was finishing, actually. He helped us. He used to get like an hour or 2 a day
To
to
teach
teach
you a
us.
bit of French.
Yeah. And then after, because most of the French, we know that it's street French.
True.
Yeah,
It's street French. But then when we get back to talking with the elders, and actually the other thing that pushed me to learn more French were the responsibilities that I got. In Algeria, you can't fight if you can't speak French.
True. You can't fight with
Because
people if
already you
you
can't
French.
speak Arabic. They don't understand English. It's French. The first paperwork I did alone, I was getting my scholarity. I went to the office. I looked at the lady. She looked at me. She went to look for a
Language
friend.
barrier.
Yes, she went to look for a friend who could speak English. The friend came. I explained my problem. The friend ran. She didn't come back. So
Maybe she didn't understand what you were trying to say.
maybe. So what the lady did, she connected her computer to the internet, Google Translate. She was like, translate, translate. She changed her PC. I saw what was on the PC, the screen. I also went to my phone. She gave me a paper and a pen. So I write what I want in French. She
And then he
types it.
translates it.
She translates to Arabic because she understood more Arabic than French. She does her translations. She writes in English. She shows me. That's how we did the thing. And I finished my paperwork that day.
That is a lot of
And
work.
that pushed you to try hard
To
and
try
learn the
hard,
French.
yes. And the other thing,
But what are the few strategies you use to, learn French? Because I know it's quite hard.
yeah, actually, it is. It is. Since I'm someone who likes music, I learned French through music. Though people would recommend movies, but movies, no. Movies require when you already know.
I failed to learn French through movies, and I tried Duolingo. I hope you
Yes,
tried it
I
too.
did, I did.
But I felt like it was just pressuring me.
Yeah, plus,
And just keeps on repeating the same things. Like it's
voila.
just a
Yeah,
phrase or
there's no,
two.
you can't
Like
feel
it's
the
not,
progress.
yeah, it's not interactive.
I think for me, I didn't even feel the progress. I had to go to like the French school because when I feel the problem, that's where I was going to learn. Then I went to
Okay.
the French school, it taught me like the vocabulary and this, but the actual learning for me came when I had a francophone friend, and I
Okay.
had to I had no choice but to talk to
To
her.
talk to
That is
her.
how I learned, because then she would say something I do not know, but I would mark it in my head.
Yeah.
I got my Google Translator, put it. What does this word mean? The next time we are speaking, I remember the context in which she used the word.
Yeah.
Then I would use that same word in another. The next time, that's how I learned like a lot of my French.
When we tried using since I don't play football, my fellas who played football, they had Francophone friends. But then I would try to interact with them, but the accent,
Yeah.
there's a Somali, the accent is different from someone from
the
Senegal,
Algerian.
Yeah,
from
from
Algerian,
Niger.
from Niger,
From Mali,
from like
and the Benin people. I
yes,
feel like they
Benin.
speak such
And
good
actually,
French.
to me, they were the Malgache, the Malgasi. They are the people who speak good French. And I remember the first person to ever speak, like the first person who spoke and I really understood was from Madagascar. And I was very happy. I was like, I've understood what you are saying. For real, I was very happy. That day I slept with a happy heart. And it was then I knew, the Francophone in me is now awake.
You've learned the French. You've done the paperwork. So that paper
Yes.
going up and down after French here, and everything is.
And everything.
Then you arrive in class and you realize the French I was learning is not the French in the class.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't.
Not at all. Because since I was the only foreign student, I was the only foreigner, they used more Arabic than French. And then the French they used was a mixture of some few words Arabic, some few words French. I was like, okay, I'm the only foreigner. I tried complaining, and they're like, you're in Algeria, you have to learn Arabic. And I'm like, but the rules say, the university rules are, you have to teach
The
in
language of-
French.
yeah.
Yes, it's the language of communication. And the excuse they used was, no, that's there, but most of the students in first year, they don't understand French. So we have to accommodate them. We have to make sure that they understand.
So, Elly, you were
Yes.
admitted on mathematics and informatics.
Yes.
But you told us you graduated with computer science. So how did you transition from someone that's admitted from math and informatics
Yes.
to finally having a degree in computer science?
Okay. So when we were starting in first year, we study all together. Those who finished in math and us who graduated with computer science, in first year, we all started together as mathematics and computer science. All the modules of math, all the modules of computer science in first year, we started together. And then when we continued to second year, that's where we were asked to choose, where do you want to branch? There are some who branched off to mathematics, and there were us who branched off to computer science. And then as we continued to third year and final year of undergraduate, we dug deeper into computer science. And actually, the more you continue, things become hard and hard because it wasn't the computer that I did in high school.
Yeah.
And then I would like to advise my listeners, our listeners, to really pay attention, to really read, guys. Guys. And the reason as to why I didn't even think about branching to mathematics, because I performed well in mathematics. But towards the end of first year, I was like, wait, so this is what we were studying after the whole year. I understood the things when the semester is ending. And I'm like, no, I can't spend the next 3 years like this. Let me go to computer science.
There is a thing we have, like when you're choosing the course.
Yes.
Does it on our side SNV? They were depending on the points you have. If
Okay.
you had higher points, you could qualify for certain courses, and if you had low points, you couldn't do such courses. For example, microbiology, biotechnology, you had to have very high points. Does that apply to computer science, that you had to have a maximum of these points to be in computer science or to be in math?
That didn't count. Well, to my knowledge, to the best of my knowledge, I don't think it counted in undergraduate, but it did count in masters because there were some specialties, like for example, for masters in my specialty, networking and information systems, we were only 12 people. While other specialties, there were 25, 30, because there were 5 specialties. In mine, we were 12. Unfortunately, one was like, no, I
This
can't.
is not my life.
No, this is.
I'm tired of
No,
suffering.
this is not the life I chose. He was like, no, we stayed 11. One girl, the thing weighed, became heavy. She gave up. So we stayed 10. So we finished 10. Then for the other specialties, they remained 5. But the points are considered when they are awarding the specialty in masters. But in undergraduate, I don't think they mind it. But me saying that they don't count the points, you, my dear listener, doesn't mean that you don't have to to put in efforts. You never know. Years pass because maybe by the
and
time you're
Algeria keeps
listening,
changing.
yes, it's changing. It's changing.
A person like me is left behind when you say other specialties.
Yes.
I really want to know, what are other specialties besides yours?
Besides the
yours.
network, yes.
Okay, besides networking and information systems, there was data science. There were people who are studying artificial intelligence.
Yes.
There are people who are studying web development and mobile applications. Though there were some modules we were sharing.
Oftentimes, if you're under the same department, you share
Yes, there are
modules.
some modules that we're sharing. Under which other module? There was a module of robotics. Yeah, robotics too.
Robotics, that's interesting because as we see things right now, robots are taking
They're
over the
taking
world.
up everything. Yeah.
So this is the thing we always tell people, by the way, do your research, because you could have a good course and probably you've been thinking, I want to do artificial intelligence, I would want to study robotics, but because you're not doing your research,
Yes.
you're being offered this scholarship and we tell you, oh, you're going to study computer science. You're like, this is not the way I want to go. I want to study robotics. So make sure you're doing your research and you're given these courses. What options are there for me? This is why we had to invite Elly today to tell our listeners about that informatic journey, to help you, our listeners of Scholars Pass Africa, make informed decisions. Like Elly.
And actually, talking about research, this wasn't in my specialty, computer science. It was in science of nature and life. The juniors who came, the few who came, there are some who used to talk to us, who used to speak to us. They're like, what is this course? Science of nature and life. I'm not coming. May I want to do this? There are some who are like, they were given technical sciences. ST, what is that? May I want to do civil engineering? I don't want to do ST. But when they dig deeper, you're given ST. That's why you're going to do mechanical engineering, civil engineering, hydraulics, and everything. So you just have to make research about your course, what you want to do. If at all it's in that field, it's in your course.
The other thing, Elly, that most of us like to know, especially when it comes down to career choices. You had your mind made up on doing computer science. Now you have your degree in computer science. It comes down. You decided to do your masters. What guided you on that choice? Because you have 5 other specialties. All of them are quite good. Robotics, artificial intelligence. And those are all courses that, right now everyone is trying to incorporate in their curriculum. It's what a lot of countries are trying to do. What put your mind to say, okay, I want to do networks? Something with networks.
As the world is evolving, fine, robots are coming up, AI is coming up. But for all those things to come together, there has to be networks.
True.
For one computer to talk to another
To another
computer,
computer.
there has to be networks. Even, and actually, I didn't even think, I didn't have this bigger picture that even cameras, it's a network. I just got to know about it when I entered the course. At first, my goal was to work in a telecommunication company.
Yeah.
Airtel, MTN.
MTN.
Because when you speak about network, that is the thing which
That's
comes
what
to your
Yes.
mind here in
everyone's
Uganda.
mind.
Yes.
MTN network, Airtel network.
Airtel, because by then there was AfriCell. Before Leica came, there was AfriCell, all those things. That's what I wanted. So I was like, no, let me go and do networking and information systems.
Until you discover there is more meaning.
Yes, there is more. So my mind was opened.
I think that's a lot of time when people talk about networks, they don't realize that it comes down to your radio, their networks. We come down to your TV stations, how that
Yes.
the frequency band is awarded. It's a network.
Exactly.
And people every time we think about it, it's just Airtel, MTN. Nobody really
Exactly.
realizes like it's a lot more.
There is more. Satellites. They're
True,
all
the satellites.
networks. Telecommunication, networking. Just because when you talk about networking, most people think about this business networking. No, there is also networking in computers so that they get to communicate with each other. And then expanding more about my career choice, it was after I continued that I saw, wait, there are more things I can do. I've studied this module, checking the market. You can actually do this as a job, like business intelligence. You can do that where you go to a company, they give you their data, you analyze their data, you study their data, and then you show it to them in graphical mode, in a graphical way. So like that, you can tell them, you can show them that, by the way, during this period, for the sales made in this time span, you made more sales during this period and you made less sales during this period. And then through that, we can also make predictions that by this year, you'll have attained your goal. If your goal is to have this amount of sales, you'll most likely have them during this period. So that's why I'm like, no, business intelligence. And then going back to wanting something that's stress-free, you know the hustle, we go through in Kampala, waking up, it's raining, now we have to look for a taxi, you have to look for a boda. And I'm like, wait, people do work remote. If I have my workstation, I can work for a company that's abroad. I can work for a company that's in Spain, that's in UK. But I'm in my room. I'm in Gayaza there, seated in my room, working, getting paid. That's still possible. Despite the specialty, despite your career path. Like a software engineer, you can be working for a company and they're like, okay, we have a client. The client wants us to produce them this. And the other thing, you're not going to be alone. It's a team.
True, always
It's
a
a team. So you'll be communicating with your team. You work on something. You send them your result. They discuss it. They send you theirs. You analyze it. You discuss it. You have group meetings like that, project management. And then, we want to do very many things. We are chasing the bag.
The bag.
We want to do very many things. Then through this networking and information systems, we had this module called project management. And actually, it's this module that helped me to work on my memoir. We call it memoir, but on the thesis. I knew how to go about it, the steps to go about it, how, when I go into the field, when I collect my data, how to use my data, when to do what I have to do. It was the project management that helped me with that.
You've brought up something that's quite important that I think a lot of us ignored along the way. You go to school and sometimes there are modules you don't like, so you don't
Yes.
focus on them. You do the modules you like a lot, but being back home and doing the job applications, I think there's a module that is literally a job.
Yes.
Someone comes to they say an instrumentation, but the only thing they want is just that one module you study.
module.
That instrumentation module. And they say, you have a degree in electronics, but we are looking for an instrumentation, and you just have only one module for it.
That
So this is
one
the thing we
module.
always tell young people: when you're out there, nothing, every single skill, everything they put into that curriculum is
Everything
important.
counts. It's
Everything
important.
counts. Because that one module you're looking at is just like, it's just one module. That is a whole job. That is probably the only thing someone needs you to know. They say, oh, I want someone with this degree, and their concentration, but the job is just about that one module.
That one module, because when I was going through the lists of jobs, when we are hunting for jobs, you check like you find they want a business analyst, a data analyst.
But it's just one module.
It's just one module. If you had business intelligence, BI, and then you check, they want someone who can do this, who can do this, who can do this, and you're like, wait, these are the things we did in this one module. And you're like, no, I can do this.
It's a thing I told myself when I went for my master's. Learn your work very well. Every single module is going to count.
It
Like the whole
counts.
job is just one module.
One module.
Mr. Elly, as you are talking about your career,
Yes.
something came into my mind. Did you try learning about other short courses alongside your course? Because computer science may be like business analyst, you need
Yes.
to know something about business,
Yes,
right?
yes.
It is like a merge between your course and business.
And business.
Did you try like learning something else besides your course, a short course maybe?
Actually, I tried, but when you have a lot of choices, you don't have a choice.
True.
Like, it's like you have very many choices, you can fail to choose. So I was like, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. And I'm like, wait, these short courses are very many. And then, because there was a time I went to my Udemy account, my Coursera account, and I'm like, there are very many courses I started and I didn't finish. And then it was later that I was like, I wish I had finished this one. I wish I had finished this one. I would have had that certificate. Because now, when you're filling in your CV, and you're like, you're
those
sending it.
certificates.
Yes. And like, if I had finished this one, I would have added it here. Maybe it would have compensated for the experience. But then, luckily enough, there are some that I did. You sit, you can do a 3 to 5 hour course for just one skill. You sit and like, I'm going to sit for 5 hours. You sit, you read, there are videos to follow, and then after, there is a small test. You do the test, they have a pass mark. If you go below the pass mark, you don't get the certificate. If you go above the pass mark, your certificate is sent to your email, and they add that you're free to share it on your LinkedIn account, to share it on your Facebook, to share it anywhere. So I did do some should I call them short courses? But yeah, okay, I did learn some skills, some really useful skills.
So our listeners, I advise you, like how Mr. Elly has said, when you're in Algeria, try to learn a skill, a short course to add on your CV. So that by the time you leave Algeria, at least your CV is quite heavy when you come to Uganda. Not only having your course that, I have a degree in whatever course you're doing. Get something else to
The
do.
thing is, like, there's internet in Algeria is quite cheap, and you
Yes.
have it all the time. Then you have the summer holidays. A lot of the summer holidays, we really don't have a lot of stuff
We
to do.
don't have
We have a
things to
lot of
do,
so
actually.
much. We have so much time
a
in
lot
the
of free
summer.
time.
So this is, I think, with help, like, make the most of your journey. Get those courses, learn them, so that you can just expand your CV. There's a thing that most of us engineers rely on, like when it makes up for experience. When we don't have like the professional experience, we always have those projects we've worked on in the
Actually,
lab
it's
and
the
everything.
projects. Those
And you
projects,
could
they
just share
really do
some of the
count.
projects you've worked on.
Like, for example, when I was finishing my undergraduate, my thesis was under a startup. So I actually have, I would say, 2 degrees. One for undergraduate. I also have a patent degree from the University of Oran.
Yes.
Then I also got a certificate from the training that we got in the startup. So for the project that we were working on, it was building an application for insurance. That one application that would be having all insurance companies and you, the person who wants to buy the insurance. And the goal for building this application was, since most people can't move to the offices, you just get your smartphone, download the application, check, compare the prices. You see that this company has lower prices for such and such a type of insurance. This has such and such a type of insurance. So you get to choose, you do the follow-up, you fill in your details. So we did that one. Unfortunately, we didn't finish it because I was working on it with the binom, an Algerian. She got tired. She was like, no, me, I'm tired. I've failed undergraduate, I've failed to graduate. This is a lot of pressure. This is a lot, I can't continue. And then our supervisor was like, you know what? It's not our decision, but the sponsors, because actually we had moved. We were actually looking for sponsors. We had signed papers. We were about to even get a name, because the name that we had proposed was 𝗫𝗫𝗄𝗵. That was the name of our application. We were signing papers. And then she was like, no, me, I'm tired. She didn't tell the supervisor. The supervisor used to call me. I used to go there, and he's like, where's your colleague? I'm like, I thought she told you. Told me what? That she's tired. It's a lot, the pressure. She can't handle the pressure. He was like, no, she didn't tell me anything. And he was like, I asked him, so what's next? Like, you know, Mr. 𝗘𝗶𝗵𝗆𝗆, it's going to be kind of hard.
It's a lot of work when you are alone.
Yeah, it's going to be hard. Plus, the Algerian government can't sponsor
A
a foreigner
foreigner.
because after you're going to go with your product, you're going to go with your work, we won't stay with anything. But if your binom, your Algerian friend, stayed on the project, yes, maybe they would work on the project and we say that it's an Algerian-based project.
Yeah,
And
because
then,
I think the IP laws demand that, someone has to be, but if Algeria takes that project in foreign, you're free to claim. And so this is my project,
it's
I
my
own the
project.
patent for it.
Yes. And then they're like, if she stayed, it would have been an Algerian-based project. Then we would say that, okay, you're going, we'll continue funding, but you're a branch of
that
the
project,
main.
sure.
Yeah, so he was like, sorry, we can't do it. Because I actually did do the pitch. I prepared my slides, my project. I showed the application. I had the application on the phone. I showed the supervisor, the person who was going to fund us. I showed them everything. I did the pitch. I explained to them how it's going to help, how the sponsor is going to benefit from it, how the funds will come back, and everything. Just for them to tell me, sorry. Because really, it's heartbreaking, but well.
The good thing you're back home, it's something you can also work on here and pitch it to a person here.
Yeah.
Because you own the patent for it, you own the work that was done before
Yes,
it.
because I have
So
the
you can
patent
just
degree,
continue
I
it.
have everything.
That's something you could continue and then just sell it to someone here.
Because
We have a
now,
lot of insurance companies
because
that
now
would
what I
give
can
that.
show is the certificate of the training that, yes, I got the training. I have the patent degree. That's there on my CV. And talking about CV, as Madame Rashida said, as Madame Latifa said, when you do these short courses, you just do them actually. And it's at the last minute when you're compiling your CV, when you get to realize that, wait, I'm a big person. I have such and such qualifications.
You know, one thing I've realized while applying for jobs here, those short courses count.
They do
Project
count.
management, you're like, but I saw that course. I could have taken it back then. And you're like, now it is not there on your CV. But
Yes.
it's the only thing missing for you to qualify
To
for
qualify.
that job.
Because maybe you might be having the things, and you never know that the people you're up against, they have the things. And they're like, this is an added advantage. And that's the plus that you'd be having. So go for those short courses.
Elly, you've
Build
told
that
us the
CV.
project you did for your undergraduate.
Yes.
We all know at masters, if you're the engineering side, you still have to present something. And most of the time, they demand something a little bit more complicated.
Yes.
So what was your master's thesis about?
For my master's thesis, it was in AI and machine learning. It was in traffic. It was on building an AI model that would detect and tell that there would be traffic in such and such a place. Like it was a traffic prediction model. You had to build a model that would detect traffic. So you're like, the model would be integrated into other features. Like, for example, people wonder how you'll be on your phone, you're using Google Maps, and it tells you, you're in your car, it tells you, no, don't use this route. There is traffic. And you wonder, how is it doing that? The models that do that, those were the things we were told to build. And that was one that I built, I optimized. So you use your data, you look for data that you would feed into your model for the model to learn the different,
To learn, yeah.
yes, the different things that if this and this changes, it implies this. So in general, my master thesis was about traffic prediction using AI and machine learning.
That's quite an interesting topic because here in Uganda you have a
A
problem of
problem, traffic
traffic.
problem.
You
Yeah,
see?
yes, actually, that's
We could use your module, please, because we are going through the most.
even my CV is there. I just need somewhere to drop the CV. I just need somewhere to drop the CV. I won't say that, I'm not available, I'm not available. I'm there. I'm looking for the job. Though for the computer science people, you can do freelancing. You can be a freelancer. Actually, that's the best thing about computer science. You can be a freelancer. You can be hunting for a job.
When
But
you're freelancing
when
for
you're
somebody.
freelancing, like there is someone, because there are platforms where people post jobs, like where people post
I need you to,
projects.
yeah, usually someone says, I need you to build me this app.
Yes.
You just freelance for them, build the app,
You're
and you
like,
get paid
you
as
ask
you wait
them,
for your
how
other
much do
job.
you have? They give you your budget, and you're like, with that budget, this is what I can do. And like, but no, I want something of such kind. And like, okay, that would cost you. They're like, okay, how much? You give them your budget. They're like, okay, you negotiate. And then after like, in such a period of time, you do the work, you present the work. If they like the work, they'll refer you, they'll recommend other people. And that's how the network builds, because people who do network, business networking, well, not my networking that I did, people who do business networking have this saying that, is it your network is your net worth? Yes.
Your network is your net worth.
Voila, thank you. So when you freelance, it also adds on your experience, by the way, because you can mention those projects,
The projects you've
on your
worked on
CV.
in your
Yes, that
CV.
I did such and such a project with such and such a company. And you can also easily ask for recommendations from those companies.
Elly, now that you're back home, and congratulations on having finished your master's.
Thank you,
It's
thank
quite
you.
an achievement, by the way.
Thank
So now
you.
that you're back home and you've walked this journey with us, you've walked us through your journey. What are some of those lessons you tell someone that's just been offered the Algerian scholarship to go study probably your course or a different course? What are those things you tell them that now that because in hindsight, now that you're back home,
Yes.
that you feel like, okay, if I had done this, or if I could do this, or this is what I did and I think I did it right. What are those things you'd tell this new student to do that would probably make this opportunity quite beneficial for them?
Well, one of the things that I learned, that I benefited from this whole thing, applies to everything. And I think everyone who passed through Algeria got this. One, you learn how to be patient.
Yes, you learn to be patient.
You
on it.
learn how to be patient.
Forcefully.
That everyone has learned that. And then the other thing that I learned was that you're not going to be always spoon fed. You're not going to be always spoon fed. Even in class, they're not going to teach you everything.
Yes.
They're going to give you the basics. And after, you have to go and expand onto what they've given you. And that's something very important for those who are going to do computer science, for those who are given computer science, in
Actually,
a way
a
that,
lot of their courses.
yes, in a way that they're just going to give you the basics. And the basics alone, you can't build a project off the basics. You have to add more. You have to learn how to use the basics, how to add A plus B to get something. You see, that you're pushed, you have to learn. In fact, I would say that I learned how to make more research. I learned how to do things from first principles. And then I would also advise those who are given computer science, those who are going to do computer science, you don't have to lose hope, because just as everything, things might become hard, might be hard at first, and you're like, no, maybe I got the wrong thing. I was given the wrong course. I want this, but no, things are becoming hard. No, don't give up. You can still make it, because there was a time I reached, computer science became hard, and I was like, how I wish I went in mathematics. And then I remembered that I used to learn mathematics towards the end of the semester. And I'm like, no, I'm staying here.
So it's more like looking into the future, the long term.
Yes, the long term. You have to see the long term. If it's something that you want, those who had future, who saw their future, who had plans for mathematics, they did mathematics. And me, who had love for computer science, who saw computer science as something that's going to build my life, that's where I put most of my efforts.
And you've talked about something about learning things from first principles. There's a thing that a lot of us, I speak for the engineering side because that's why I see a lot of these things happen. There are times when you're along the way, there are modules you just pass through. Then somehow you offered a project, and the basis of it is a module you just walked through because you wanted to get the moyen for it and finish. But now you have to go back, relearn that project and relearn that module in detail for you to be able to execute these projects.
You have to
So the
go
thing I
back.
always tell people, learn from the first principle, understand. Don't be a person that's just walking through modules. Like people come to school, we just want to get the grade and finish. Because what then happens, like there are so many of the projects that you're going to be working on, you need the basis of those modules to have learned that module from first principles.
Exactly.
And for me, I think that really affected me is like there are modules I walked through, then I would meet it in my other year, and then I had to have the basis
The
of it
basics,
before.
yeah.
And then I'm struggling now because I have to go back and relearn something I didn't want to learn just so I can be able to get through this semester.
That reminds me of the time we're given articles. You're just given an article. And during class, it was just a heading and you just listed points. And then you're given a full article. You have to go back, do your research.
Yes.
It was, if you didn't at least pick something from class, you wouldn't write that article very well. You just pick irrelevant points. But because it was from first principles, you had an idea, at least you could extract very important points from the article.
From the thing.
And I think I also tell new students is like, you need to remember, you're going to go there, you're going to study with a lot of probably Algerian classmates who are not probably giving much or something. Do not follow that trend.
Yes.
Students are going to get to that. You don't have, you just need 10, you pass. That 10 is easy.
Exactly. Plus,
But then here comes the problem is you are coming back to a society that is going to demand differently of you. You're not going to come to Uganda and say, oh, I got my degree from Algeria, and they are starting to ask you certain things you do not understand. What can you do? You have to explain your projects in detail. But because you didn't learn things from your first principles, you're going to struggle. So do not go with that attitude. Just always say yourself, I left home, went to another country, and I'm going back home to a country that demands certain standards of me.
you've actually talked about peer pressure, the influence. Most people actually, I had someone I was mentoring, I would say, she's Kenyan. She asked me, she's doing computer science, she's in first year now. She asked me that, Elly, my friends have told me that the teacher said their classes are optional. I was like, well, in the Algerian system, the class is optional. That's if you don't care. But if you do care about what you're doing
And what you
and
intake,
what
the
you
intake
want,
is what you want.
please do attend those classes. However boring they are, you go in the class. Even if you don't understand everything, right? They might not make sense from there, but when you go back and sit down and start going through everything, things will start making sense. But if you don't sit in class, you'll be like our classmates. One day, in fact, is it one day, one night towards the exam, they start, can you please send me this? Can you please send me the notes? Did you do this exercise? Can you please send me this answer? And you're like, guys, where are you?
And that's the difficult thing about that. If you're a person that's learning things the last minute, what happens is like you watch, the teacher changes something small, and suddenly it's a number you've never seen in your TD, in your TP. Now you're telling the teacher they've never taught this part, but they just changed something small because you did not learn from first
It's
principle. You
because
were
when you
last
do things
minute.
at last minute, you're cramming. You're just storing in the short-term memory that once I write this, it's off my head. Once I do this, that's done.
Maybe something else that probably Elly hasn't told all of you is like, for most of you who are going right now to Algeria, they are doing the transition from French to English in school. Do not be very reluctant. You have an opportunity, and a lot of people don't understand, but the being able to speak French and understand French is going to open up few opportunities for you. There are jobs you're going to work in, and honestly, they don't care if you have your master's in software engineering or whatever engineering you have. They're only offering it to you for the fact that you can speak French and you can
Yes.
understand French. So you have this opportunity to go to a French-speaking nation with people who speak French. Take advantage of it and learn. Don't be like people are saying, after all, I passed my
my
exams.
course.
I don't really need to speak French. you have 5 years, 3 years, or 4 years in a French speaking nation. It is very not okay for you to come back and you cannot speak or understand French. It's an opportunity that you have. Make use of it. Learn French. Take the time, learn your French.
For example, you have a colleague, he did medicine, 7 years in Algeria. And right now, he's a translator. He's not practicing medicine. And the translation gig or the job is earning him more than what medicine could have earned him.
Even he
Exactly.
tells he doesn't want to practice his medicine because it's like he's being paid so much as a
Yes.
translator that he can't imagine having to come back and do medicine
And do
and put himself
medicine
through
and
that.
start.
So that's the thing we're saying is like the diversification. The fact that Elly told you you have that opportunity, go do that startup degree if you can. Please take it because those patent degrees would look so good on your CV. Learn your French. It will give you so many opportunities. The things that you need to do very, very, very differently. Take up the short courses online. They will make your CV look so beautiful and very accomplished. They'll make up for the few things that probably you do not have enough professional experience. The short courses are going to make up for it.
Yes.
Elly, now you're back home. What's that one thing you're working towards, the goal?
Actually, before even coming back home, I feared to come back home actually because I was like, okay, what am I going to do? But then there was one night, random night, I sat down and I looked at my CV because even before coming, I'd started applying for scholarships to go do PhD, applying for internships, for graduate training? Yeah, graduate training, applying for jobs. So I looked at my CV and I'm like, with all this that I have, what's there to fear? Like, no. Went, asked for my ticket, I came. So then
The courage.
the courage. So, so then you be there. We have relatives. Though people are making fun of this thing of an uncle comes, asks for a CV, they take years without doing anything. But at least that gives you hope, you know? It gives you that hope that at least I'm working towards something, I'm not idle. You also be pursuing something else, but you have at the back of your mind that I have a relative, is helping me, I'm not alone. Even the people you studied with, you came back friends,
True.
they know what you did, what you studied, you know what they studied. Like, for example, in my promotion, in our cohort, we have a group. If someone finds a job application that suits someone in our cohort, they send it in our group. You apply, others send them in other people's inboxes. Like, for example, now I have a gig we're going to work on with 𝗂𝗰𝗵 𝗂𝗃. That thing, he posted it randomly in the group. You are like, there is this, is there someone who can do this? There's someone who can do this. Inboxed him. I believe there was someone else who inboxed him too. Like, this, I can do this. Like, okay, we talked, and like, okay, yeah, at least now there is this. And for those with computer science, that's freelancing because you're not yet employed in a company. You're working as an individual, you're a freelancer. So I can be having this gig, I hunt, I get another one, as long as I'm going to deliver. Because once you pile things onto yourself, they'll push you down. You'll crack. After you produce something that's not good, you lose clients like that. Because there are most people who are still working as freelancers. And then the other thing that I had at the back of my mind, that when I reach home, I would use this French that I learned. Because yes, actually there are times I used to speak with people and they couldn't believe that I'm an Anglophone.
Yeah, by the way.
They're
A lot of
like,
people find out you're Anglophone on the
and when
last
they find
year.
you speak English, they're like, wait, you speak English too? Like, I'm an Anglophone. I've just learned French just some few years back. Like, I was like, okay, so if French speaking people can say that I'm not an Anglophone, I really have to utilize this French. So I wanted to get somewhere, get a school to teach the French, just as something like twice a week, twice or 3 times a week. Then I also wanted to go to a university since the primary prerequisite is you having
A
a master's
master's
degree.
degree.
Because I once talked to a senior who is teaching at Makerere University, because actually, he told me that he was given a contract. So now he's a professor. He was given a contract, but he started as someone assisting. Like you go, you ask for, like maybe you see their timetable, you see their modules, you email the prof of that module, you're like, this module, I can help you. And then the prof, if he likes what you're doing, because for them, like at their age, they're like, no, this is a lot of work, but the money has to come, you have to sign in, what. So like, if you're helping them, you're just, they can give you something, a 𝗘𝗵𝗆. So those are the things that I was looking forward to, because I can teach that I know, I can speak in public, and plus the projects that I've been doing, the small projects, like the school projects, with that, I know that I can work on a project.
Thank you so much, Mr. Elly, for the insightful knowledge about your course. I've also learned more about your course, the networking, the different specialties, which I didn't know.
Thank you for hosting me too.
You're welcome. And I hope our listeners have not been left the same. We appreciate you for listening from the beginning of this episode. And now that we've come to an end, we urge you to subscribe to our channels, to go on our social media pages, to like, to follow social media pages at Scholars Path Africa. For those having questions, we shall be answering them through our social media pages, or we shall dedicate an episode to answer all those questions. And in future, we shall invite Mr. Elly back to tell us his experience in Uganda as a network engineer.
Please remember to send us your questions. We shall always be answering them at the beginning of our next episode, or we shall be dedicating a special episode to answer all these questions. Until next time, bye.